Let me also welcome in our studio, let me welcome our new panelist, Smita Mishra, senior journalist, is joining us now. Welcome, ma'am. Also, Subimal Bhattacharjee, political analyst, focuses also on the developments in Northeast in particular. Smita ji, first, the trends that we are watching since morning today. What is at work? Is it anti-incumbency or pro-incumbency?
No, I would say it is not totally anti-incumbency, because if we study the trends of anti-incumbency for any government per se, then no government should be in a position to come back with the people's mandate for the third time. It should actually not come back even for a second time, because anti-incumbency in a parliamentary democracy usually sets in just by the midterm of the first regime or the first term of a government, whether it is a state government or a union government. So therefore, I think anti-incumbency is only a very small part of this, this package verdict that we are witnessing
possibly
now.
What I was looking for, a word that sort of defines the very enthusiastic results that the BJP and NDA had projected, a 400-like figure. And now looking at a figure where the NDA is forming the government, is crossing that magic number of 272. However, BJP by itself, which it had done in 14 and 19, crossing the mid mark of 272.
Yes, agreed.
That's not happening this time.
But then perhaps if that huge lofty target had not been given by the leadership of the BJP and the government, perhaps they would not even have been able to make it to this point. How do we know how much of dissatisfaction, and more than dissatisfaction, how much of lack of enthusiasm was settling in within the people when you are coming back to power for a third term?
Yes,
so therefore,
look
perhaps
at the numbers. Now BJP is much far ahead as far as the other alliance partners are concerned. Can we go back to that first plate, please? Because there's absolutely no comparison. Whereas if you look at the India alliance, Congress is not really leading from the front as far as the alliance itself is concerned.
Yes. Well, to say, if the alliance was looking at replacing or removing the BJP government, the Modi government, certainly they have not reached that position. However, I will say that the alliance does have some good news, to give solace to itself, among which, for the first time, the Congress is reaching a position where, it had been in a very, very down and out situation for 2 consecutive terms. This time, even if it is reaching, say, close to 100, if not 100, it does mean that some people have definitely voted for the Congress, even if in alliance is one part. The second thing is, the opposition alliance crossing the 200 mark shows that the government which will take oath will not be a kind of a heavy majority government that we have seen for the past 2 terms. So in that way, the opposition alliance does have some reasons to give solace to itself. But if the purpose was to remove Narendra Modi and trying to say that we have to save our constitution and democracy, this man must go, clearly the people have not
That's a
bought
hugely
that
important
argument.
point, ma'am. When you say that the new government, if the trends convert to results, are not going to result in a sort of majority government that we've seen in the past 2 terms, what does it mean for the BJP, NDA and Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lead with these numbers if they stabilize finally?
Well, so as you said, I will talk from the standpoint that these numbers, what we are seeing at the moment. Now, if these numbers stay, then we have seen for 2 consecutive terms Narendra Modi leading an NDA government with full respect and regard to all his alliance partners, but in a seats sharing position where the BJP had more than enough seats by itself. Now, if these numbers are going to stay, then it definitely means that the partners will be having more say in matters of policy, in matters of political articulation, and in matters of
there's a bit of a shocker coming in here where Smriti Irani as of now is trailing in that hot seat of Amethi. A quick one on that. Yes, these are just the trends, but even trailing. And then another shocker for the BJP, trailing Ahluwalia, SS Ahluwalia from that Asansol seat in West Bengal, and key seat in Uttar Pradesh, Azamgarh, where again your BJP's Dinesh Lal Yadav or Niruha is trailing. He is contesting against Samajwadi Party, and Yusuf Pathan there. Not a good news for the Congress party. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, one of their so-called tallest faces, getting this drubbing from a cricketer turned politician, Yusuf Pathan, in one of the volatile West Bengal constituencies of Behrampur. If you could go to the alliance numbers also before that, Baramati, bastion of the Pawars, it's a family tussle here. Supriya Sule, daughter of Sharad Pawar from the NCP, one of the Sharad factions of the NCP, leading opposing family member, I could say, Sunetra Pawar. And in Jammu Kashmir, interesting, Baramulla, which registered the maximum voter turnout, where former Chief Minister Umar Abdullah is leading, and also Kirti Azad, going back to West Bengal, is leading from the Trinamool Congress seat, where yes, that's also a disappointing news coming for the Bharatiya Janata Party in the state of West Bengal. One of their prime front runners, Dilip Ghosh, there trailing as of now in terms of trends. Subimal, coming to you, can we have those alliance numbers also? Now for the alliance, even if Congress is leading in terms of numbers, 236, and can we have the breakup of the India Alliance? That's what we wanted to discuss.
It'd be nice if you can show us the data of East India and Bengal as well. I think Subimal would have particular thoughts on that.
Yes,
the
absolutely.
contest is spanning out.
So there's this also this talk about, okay, you managed to do appreciably well in terms of getting numbers, cobbling up numbers, but will India Alliance manage to keep the flock together? We'll have East also on our screens, but if we just want to understand how the numbers are stacked. We have NDA on your screens, but you can continue talking.
Well, Sakalji, you would have always seen that all the India Alliance partners have projected that this was an alliance for this particular election. So the propensity for them to stick together, coming from all kinds of, formulations, and most of them being family-based parties, at some level those egos will play out. So I never see that, that's a formidable alliance that's going to come to such numbers that they're going to push or create problems for a third term government of the NDA. But having said so, with the numbers plummeting as of now, as we see, and in many constituencies the difference is very, very less. I don't see that the continuity of an NDA government will derail many of the things.
Congress at 97, followed by Samajwadi Party, close on heels, because that's the maximum chunk they have grabbed in terms of trends only, or leads from Uttar Pradesh. And then West Bengal, we saw BJP making inroads earlier in terms of leads, but then Trinamool Congress's Mamata Banerjee's
It's interesting that you're putting Trinamool Congress and India Alliance. When she said that she'll support it from the outside, not from inside. So these numbers are, we have to just check those numbers.
And DMK from Tamil Nadu, the ruling dispensation, comfortable on 21 seats. Coming to you now, as we have the East numbers also on your screens. Okay, NCP, Sharad Pawar faction taking 8 there, leading on 8. Left on 5, Vishal is ready. Vishal Baristo from Jaipur in Rajasthan. Vishal, I'm sorry, apologies to keep you waiting out there. We were going through these numbers, crunching numbers. But for the BJP, Rajasthan news doesn't augur well as of now, as far as these initial trends are concerned. Over to you.
Well, absolutely, Sakal, and I understand that you need to do some analysis also. But I've been traveling in Rajasthan, and Rajasthan was never going BJP's way as far as 25 seats are concerned. And it's a big setback. A lot of answering needs to be done by the Bhajanlal government. Then Vasundhara Raje factor is also there, which is not openly spoken about by the BJP cadre. Meanwhile, BJP has won the Jaipur seat, and I have with me the Mahila Morcha cadre here, and they are also very excited. They are celebrating the Jaipur seat. आपको बीजेपी की उम्मीद थी जयपुर से जीतेंगी, लेकिन आप 25 की 25 सीटों पर नजरें लगाए हुए थे. कैसा लग रहा है, कैमरे में देख के बताइए.
बिल्कुल, हमें बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है. जयपुर शहर के अंदर मंजू शर्मा की जीत की पहले से हमें उम्मीद थी कि रिकॉर्ड तोड़ के जीत होगी उनकी, क्योंकि जयपुर शहर के जितने भी कार्यकर्ता लोगों ने जी जान लगा के इतनी मेहनत की थी कि पहले उम्मीद लगा के रखे थे कि हमारी जीत तो पक्की है.
लेकिन कांग्रेस भी अच्छा कर रही है. 12 सीटों पर अभी ट्रेंड्स में आगे चल रहे हैं. ऐसा तो एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया होगा आप लोगों ने?
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं किया था. हमें तो हमारी जीत का था कि हमें 400 पार ही करना था, और हम चाहते भी यही है कि अभी 400 पार होगा. धीरे धीरे अभी लग रही उम्मीद बढ़ जा रही, छोटे छोटे कभी नीचे कभी ऊपर कभी नीचे, पर हमें लग रहा है कि 400 पार धीरे धीरे हो जाएगी.
So they are still very hopeful, and that sounds quite. I mean,
Vishal, we are getting some good news for the BJP in Rajasthan. Finally, they are leading on 14 seats with Congress behind. That's how Rajasthan looks like right now. Vishal, a quick one and then we come back to the guests. BJP on 14, Congress way behind on 8 and others 3. Vishal.
Well, absolutely, Sakal, but even if Congress wins one seat, then it's a huge encouragement for them, because for the last 2 elections, they have not scored a single seat as far as Lok Sabha is concerned. Having lost the assembly seat and then giving a good fight in Rajasthan, because BJP was eyeing all 25 seats, is certainly a cause of concern for the state leadership and also for the central leadership, because they opted
Vishal.
for Bhajan Lal.
Yeah, it has been a complete sweep for the
Vasundhara
BJP
Raje.
in 2019, 24 out of 25, right now leading on 14, Congress behind them at 8. In 2019, Congress, Rajasthan used to be their bastion, could not even open an account. Thank you very much, Vishal, for joining us. And from Kerala, we're getting this big breaking where one result is out, and that is good news, auguring well for the CPM, taking up that seat. But last we checked, it was Shashi Tharoor lagging in his home turf.
All right, if you can spend some time with Rajasthan a little bit more.
Sure.
And the reason why, Smita ji, as we see that the BJP has been trying to foray into the south, and Mission South was talked about mostly. East is a part that West Bengal in particular that BJP wanted to capture for a long time. While it has made gains in the east and the south, the manner in which it has lost in its own heartland area should be a matter of concern for the NDA and the BJP. Do you see that? We discussed Gujarat 2 seats earlier. Now Rajasthan, about 8 seats are going. 8 seats do not sound much, but when you compare it with 19, there's a complete sweep. Gujarat, Rajasthan, and here they're losing 8. How do you see that in that perspective, ma'am?
So you see, for 2 consecutive terms, they had complete sweep, a complete total clean sweep of the state. So that certainly is not something that will happen every time, okay? So that is one point. So there was to be some loss, but the losses were being pegged at about 2 to 3 seats. Maybe the BJP would come back with 21 or 22. Certainly not the kind of numbers that we see.
And do you see the corresponding
today.
gains that they were anticipating in south and east?
And now the point is this, the question of expansion, the geographical expansion as well as the social expansion. Geographical is when you go to areas you were not a force to reckon with earlier, and social expansion is when castes and communities and societies vote for you who were not previously voting. Now, whether the social expansion has happened or not is something we will know only when the micro data of voting comes. But as for the geographical expansion, it has happened because you have to look at Odisha, you have to look at Andhra along with Mr. Naidu's TDP.
And we should look at the data from Kerala also.
And you must also see Kerala, because don't look at the number of seats in Kerala. We have to see how much of a fight the NDA candidates, BJP candidates are giving.
So in that case, in 2019, they couldn't open
I
their
would
account.
say that the expansion project has not bombed. It is very much happening. And also the fact that in states where you had a clean sweep, you had to target an expansion because you have to offset those losses with gains in other areas.
It's historic for BJP
but I'll just add one
Kerala.
line.
Sure.
And I'll just add one line that this expansion project of the BJP, it is still a work in progress. I will not say it has reached a great place
Okay, sure.
already.
Point taken. Subimal, Kerala, that's historic. 2 seats BJP's, and just for our audiences who may not have followed Kerala politics, never before in any Lok Sabha elections has BJP won any seat in Kerala. Them winning 2 seats in Kerala is big.
Always been a linear fight, LDF, UDF alternating.
Absolutely. So I think it's a big gain, and there's been a lot of work going on in Kerala for years by the RSS as well as the BJP. And if you see Rajiv Chandrasekhar taking on Shashi Tharoor and leading him, I think Rajiv Chandrasekhar has been one of the very prominent ministers in this government, and the expansion and usage of technology, all of the digital media and everything, this has definitely projected the aspirations that even a lot of the people in Kerala want to show, but because of the nature of the politics there, the nature of the suppression, the nature of the violence and everything, a lot of people don't come out. I think this is the beginning of a much larger and a greater
So what
journey.
according to you, what is the kind of big picture, Subimal, that is emerging as we wait for the east and northeast numbers also? The big
you see, as long as the government is formed with majority, your term comfortable varies according to individuals and assessment. There will be work in progress. There
So
will
it's a
be
big news
work
really coming in from
Chandrasekhar
Kerala, Rajiv
leading
Chandrasekhar
and
leading.
beating Shashi Tharoor on his home turf, where he has maintained almost 100%, I think 100% strike
He's
rate.
leading at the moment. This would have been his 4th term as the Member of Parliament. If Shashi Tharoor had won, but coming up as an upset, it's Rajiv Chandrasekhar who's leading from the BJP in the Thiruvananthapuram.
Tides have turned for
I guess, I guess a change is a constant, more so in a parliamentary democracy. And even if it is a constituency where you are supposed to be very popular and the people find you very friendly and
what
accessible.
could be the reason here? What could be
I think Mr. Tharoor has been having a straight fight always with the left in Thiruvananthapuram, and it is the social combination is such that he gets the votes of the, he gets the social votes in such a manner that it is always just a shade above the CPM votes. They had never fathomed a third player in the market, and this is where the BJP has, sort of turned the tables, because a new player came into the picture. And with the Prime Minister's thrust of travelling to Kerala continuously, Mr. Chandrasekhar spending a good amount of time in the state, which is his home state, though he is a resident of Kerala but also Bangalore. And at the same time, I think, the kind of emotional, spiritual connect that the Prime Minister has displayed for the South, most particularly Kerala, his constant tours there, and the promise that Kerala...
Kanyakumari.
Yes,
But
and you say Kanyakumari is technically Tamil Nadu, but it is more aligned to the Kerala demography and society. So when the Prime Minister spends time in Kanyakumari, it has an impact on both the states. But I think more particularly the point is that people in Kerala decided they must give a chance to a new player, because they were perhaps tired of this UDF, LDF, linear politics, as you were saying, because at the end of the day in Parliament, they both turn out to be the same. So why should the people suffer?
So overall, NDA completely in control of things,